Hello guys, I'm Grawshellar. Today we have the GEKKO MORIA decklist, so let's go and take a look. This deck is interesting. It might be hard to explain, right, because it's difficult to play, in my opinion. But if you can just do the numbers, right, and know when to do certain plays, like this deck can be really dangerous. Also to note that these cards are probably gonna be played right now with the Sakatsuki leader, but that's gonna be banned in the future, so you're gonna have to shift to this leader, right? So this is a purely black deck. There's gonna be some changes on the cards, right? But it's essentially like the better Sakatsuki, right, that you're gonna be playing going forward after Sakatsuki is banned and stuff. So let's go ahead and see what the leader does. Okay, so the leader, 5 lives, 5k, as any leaders, or most of the leaders, right? Then its ability, it's interesting because you have to activate it. It needs at least 1 Dawn when attacking, and then you pay 2 more Dawns. You discard 1 card from your hand, so you need a lot of conditions for that. You put the top 2 cards from the top of your deck into your trash, and then you play 1 Thriller Bar Pirates characters with a cost of 4 or less from the trash, right? So usually you're not gonna risk the first turns to play something from the trash, right, that it's not already on the trash, because you might not be trashing them with those 2 cards that you trash from the top of your deck, right? And you're gonna misuse 2 dons unless you do really need to use this skill to populate somehow your table because your hand is awful. But this is gonna synergize well with a couple cards we're gonna be seeing later, right? You can play up to 4 of your cards, different characters, 4 different characters, and that's gonna be interesting. Like, it's a total of 16 cards, right? So the odds are okay, but you could discard cards that you cannot play in the same turn that you discard them. So unless you discard it from your hand, right? If you had that card on your hand, then yeah, you can use that. But if it's not already on your trash or in your hand as the card that you discard, don't use this ability too much, because it's kind of a gamble, right? Okay, we're gonna start with 2 copies of Kusan. Okay, Kusan, it's more or less like a good card. Okay, I won't say it's excellent, just because it doesn't have counter, and this character doesn't stay alive too much, and you need to attack, right, to lower the cost. But the on-play is good. You're gonna draw 1 card, and you can play this card from the trash with the super rare GEKKO MORIA that we'll be seeing later. So it's good because you can replay this card a couple times, right? But 2 copies, I feel it's okay. I don't think you really need more than those. Then 4 copies of Tsuru. Again, a really solid 2k counter. You can also use the on play, right? If you need to lower to the cost of a character in a pinch. And then it's navy, so you can look for it with brand new. Then 3 copies of Borsalino Super Rare from OP2. It's a really good blocker. You can adjust the numbers as you want, right? Like, you can have 4 of these and then lower other cards. 3 is just to even the numbers because you need to fill some cards, right? But yeah, it's for 4, a 5k, that's gonna be a 6k on the opponent's turn and cannot be KO'd by effects, which is really good. Being blocker and all, and it also has 1000 counter. I don't know, this card is really good overall. Then 4 copies of brand new. This is gonna be your searcher. It also synergizes well with this deck, even if it's a 2-cost searcher and you only look up to 3 of your cards, you're gonna discard the other 2. That means that you're gonna take 1 navy card if it's there, and the rest are gonna be trashed. So you can later play cards from your trash. So this card is really good. Also, you can replay this card again and again with the on-play with some cards, and we'll be seeing that in short. Okay, also 3 copies of Sabo. Again, the same as Borsalino. A really good blocker with really good effect. For 5, it's a 6k blocker, and the on-play, your characters cannot be KO'd by effects, until the start of your next turn. Then you draw 2 cards, you trash 2 cards. Any card that lets you trash cards from your hand or from your deck is gonna be good for this, because you're gonna be playing cards from your trash or playing with your trash in some way, so that's really good. Okay, Rob Lucci. I'm putting 3 copies here because this card is really good in any black deck because it just gives you a lot of utility, and it's also for 4 a 6k, so it's lower cost. Also, you're gonna be needing a lot of 4 cost characters that are gonna synergize well with the super rare Moria, so that's really good. The on play, you place 3 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck. Again, you're gonna be thrashing so many cards, so you can just use this skill effectively without putting in the bottom deck the cards that you really need to play later, right? You KO up to one of your opponent's characters cost 2 or less, and then one cost 1 or less. So if you reduce the cost of some cards, you can KO quite a couple things. So it's a really solid card just to get rid of blockers and stuff like that, right? Okay, 4 copies of Absalom. 4 cost, 5000 power. The on play, you return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck. Same as Rob Lucci. And then you KO up to 1 character cost 2 or less. You would say it's a worse version of Lucci, but then again you can play this card with the ability of the Moria leader, right? So I think it's pretty good in that situation, right? Because you can just like discard it at the beginning from your hand, and then you attach add-on to Moria. It's gonna hit by 6k. You pay 2 dons, then you play this card. So you are effectively KOing something from cost 2. Having this on the table, also attacking with Moria, all of that for the cost of 3 dons. So it's gonna be really nice. Okay, GEKKO MORIA, super rare. 4 copies of this, absolutely. This is the key core card of this deck. It's just amazing. It's broken. Okay, for 8 cost and 9k power card. The on play, you choose up to 1 cost 4 or less and up to 1 cost 2 or less characters. Cards from your trash. One of them you played normally, the other you played rested, right? You can choose which one. So that's why this is interesting. You're gonna have a lot of 4 cost cards that you're gonna be playing with this from the trash, and then 2 or less cost cards. You have a couple, right? Like you can play, for example, let's say Absalom, right? For free from your trash, or a Rob Lucci, Borsalino, Hogback, Perona. Like you have a lot of cards that cost 4 or less that you can play for free. You can choose to play them normally or rested, and for example, if you play them as active, you can also play a brand new right rested and just do the effect, and then you are gonna probably draw 1 more card, right? And then build more of your trash there. Or you can probably like reuse Tsuru, as you have used it as a counter, as HK counter, and then you can reduce the cost of something by -2, and then you use Lucci, right, as the other card. I don't know, like you can make so many combinations. Obviously, you have to do the sequence all right, because some cards are gonna be like you have to play one of those and the other rested, right? So you have to pick the cost 4 and the cost 2. You have to choose which one of those is gonna be played first. The other one is gonna be played rested. So you have to do the order right? If you want the card active and rested in the order you need, right? The ones you need. But yeah, it's just a stupid combo, right? That can make you like populate the table super fast. It makes you reuse the on play of cards. It's just really stupid. Okay, Doctor Hogback, another 4 cost, right? Which is gonna be good for this deck. 5k. Thriller Bar Pirates, you return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck, same as Absalom. Then you put up to 1 Thriller Bar card other than this from your trash to your hand. So that means you can recover, for example, 2k counters, right, from the Thriller Bar Pirates. So you're gonna be playing, for example, this for free, either with the leader or with the GEKKO MORIA, and then you have a battler on the field, and then you're gonna recover one of your 2k counters from Thriller Bar Pirates, so it's really stupid, right? Or any other, right? Thriller Bar Pirates, because you can recover a GEKKO MORIA, right? You can recover a cost 8 GEKKO MORIA with this. So that's why this card is so stupid. Like, you can play GEKKO MORIA whenever you want if you're discarding it, right? You can recover it with Dr. Hogback. Okay, 4 copies of the Victoria Sindri 2k counter, and if you are in the necessity of use the on-play, if your leader is Thriller Bar Pirates, you trash 5 cards from the top of your deck. That can help you, right? Build your trash really early on. If you want to play cards from the trash really early, you can always recover this card or replay it, right, with other cards, so it doesn't matter if you play it because it's just a cost 1. So you can probably play this the first turn, right, if you only have one done, and you start, right, you can just play this, have 5 cards on the trash, and then you can start playing cards from the trash, right? So it's always a solid first turn play, I would say. Okay, 4 copies of Perona. Another 4 cost, 5k, it's a 2k counter, so you can use it as a 2k counter effectively, play it later, you have a lot of plays with this. And then the on-play, if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, you choose between 2 options. Your opponent discards 1 card from your hand, their hand, they choose which one, right? They cannot choose randomly because of the phrasing of the card. Or you can give up to one of your opponent's characters cost -3 for the turn. Again, you can combo this in so many ways, like you can use this to defend yourself for 2k, again with Sindri or Tsuru, just the 2k counters, right? You can use them, then put GEKKO MORIA, and then you can replay those cards. So it's really, really good to be able to use this as a 2k counter and then replay it later, right? So it's really stupid. Like this deck has so many combinations of plays that you can do, right? And if you can do that right, like my gosh. Okay, 3 copies of Helmepo is just to help you lower the character cost, and it has an on-play. It's a 2 cost, so you can play it with Moria for free again, and then lower the cost again. So it's always good, right, to be able to play these kind of cards again and again and again, because you're gonna be playing them from the trash and stuff. Like you can use it for defense for 1000, and then use the on-play effect with the GEKKO MORIA super rare. Also, it's searchable with the Navy searcher, brand new, so you can always pick it. Also, 4 copies of Ice Age. This is just gonna help you lower the cost of any character, just to finish it off with either Absalom or Rob Lucci, right? So it's gonna be really nice to be able to just KO something super easily. It's only 1 done, it's really cheap to use it, so it's really nice. And then Great Eruption. 4 copies of these too. Why? Because it's good. For 1 done, you're gonna draw 1 card, give some character -2 cost. So that's always good, right? That's always gonna be a really useful card to use, because you're gonna replenish your hand, and you're helping cards, right, like Rob Lucci and Absalom KO other cards, right? But overall, this deck has a lot of combinations, a lot of usages. That's why you populate so many cost 4 cards. Like for example, with GEKKO MORIA, you can return a Kusan super rare to the field. That way you draw 1 card again, right? And then again, you can play like cost 2 and 1, and then you can choose which ones are rested. Other cards are gonna bring other cards back. Like you bring the Hogback card, and you draw from the trash another GEKKO MORIA or a Perona to have another 2k counter. Like you can recover so many cards from the trash. So if you play your trash correctly, this deck can be deathly. Okay guys, that was everything. I hope you enjoy these deck lists. Leave me your opinion in the comments section, right? What do you think about this GEKKO MORIA card as a leader? Like, do you prefer this, or do you prefer the Perona version, right? Which also plays the black cards, but it's slightly different. I don't know, let me know and then subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and if you want to see more videos, click one of the videos that you are probably seeing on screen. I'll be seeing you guys next video.